okay?
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Kyle here, starting with the intro today. Dom was feeling kind of insecure today because nobody's watching our videos. So he wanted me to do the intro. Beta Cook energy, if you ask me, but here we are.
What the fuck?
Anyways, today we're going to be doing Red Goblin versus Juubidara. Why? I don't know. Nobody asked for this, but we thought it was cool. So if you don't like it, you know where the exit is. Not very close, if you ask me. Dom feels like he needs to prove himself by debating lower tier characters than what I've been debating, or so he says. So we're going to see how this one goes. Anything to add, Dom?
No, I just wanted to say go fuck yourself, and I know I just broke the 2-minute rule, but I don't even care. I'm not no
Dom,
beta
you told
cuck.
me not to cuss within 2 minutes. What happened to that?
I'll blur it out somehow. I'll figure out how to
Yeah,
edit
you
the
should do
sound.
that. Clean up your own mistakes.
Yeah. Alright.
So why don't you go ahead and you start with Red Goblin? The
Alright.
obviously inferior character.
Yeah, that's fine. So obviously I got my work cut out for me this time. But I just kind of wanted to get into Norman as a character first, because he's a menace in his own right. So, first off, he tries to do everything in his power to mess with Spider-Man. Now, Otto Octavius, you know, Doc Ock, he married Aunt May, but Green Goblin, he fucked Gwen Stacy. And he also killed her, too. So that's two then. So not only did he make Spider-Man a cuck, he also killed his bitch. So that's something that's pretty interesting. I just want to throw that in there real quick. Just his personality alone is just pure hatred. And that's just his Green Goblin. With Green Goblin, his durability is pretty nasty. He's eating Spider-Man's punches full force. Spider-Man says something along the lines of, I need to make this shot count, so I'm going to give it my all. Something like that. And he pretends to be knocked out, but not really. Right after he kills Gwen Stacy. So he was pretty sound of mind at the time. And the strength of Green Goblin, he's pretty consistently holding down Spider-Man and knocking Spider-Man out. And if you guys want to know like what our Spider-Man scaling was, our first video we did was Spider-Man versus Shippuden, which should scale pretty nicely for this video, particularly because we're using Spider-Man characters against another Naruto character. And Spider-Man almost capped out around this tier. Now I think Jubito is a lot weaker than Juubidara, and he lost to White Mask Obito, so it's not really the same thing, but I think you'll see where I'm getting at here. So when it comes to the other half of Red Goblin, I don't think Carnage really needs an intro, so I'm not even gonna really say anything. Bro is a straight menace in his own right, worse than Green Goblin if you ask me. But he bullies both Spider-Man and Venom at the same time. And Venom is at least 50% stronger as Spider-Man. Than Spider-Man. And this is pretty consistent, showing Venom ragdolls Spider-Man a lot. And in the scan I'm showing you, Carnage uses Venom to ragdoll Spider-Man. So he's pretty much higher tier than most Spider-Man villains. And this shows whenever he's on screen or on panel, Spider-Man is scared instantly, and he is automatically in the idea that he has to focus on saving lives, and he knows people will die. He's not like that with any of his other villains, really, but Carnage, he is. So what do you get when you mix these two characters? Obviously, it's the Red Goblin. And one of the biggest downsides to the Carnage symbiote is his weakness to fire and sound. And we don't get a lot of fights with Red Goblin, which is why I had to scale a little bit of Green Goblin and Carnage beforehand to kind of get you the idea of where this character should be, and I'll scale people that he's fighting too. So he's immune to sound and fire. In fact, he even breathes his own fire. But he's fighting these two characters that are sound and fire based, one of them being the Human Torch. And he ends up beating the Human Torch, which I'll get into in a minute. Some of his other powers includes homing, talking, sentient pumpkin bombs that can track their enemies. Obviously, I said homing. So that's one of his other abilities. I don't think that's going to help in this fight too much, but he also is resistant to his own Goblin Psychosis illusion gas, which Spider-Man is not, and Spider-Man is immune to a decent amount of illusions. So that's pretty interesting that he is immune to his own gas. He also, like I said, beats the Human Torch in this fight. Now, Human Torch is stated to at least be a Moon Blaster early on in his comics. And obviously he's gotten stronger. He fights stronger opponents later on. Human Torch, he takes a nuke. He tanks a nuke point blank from, while he's in space. He redirects it, kind of like what Mark does. I know you love bringing up that feat, Kyle, so I figured you'd like this one. And he also tanks a hit from Namor. And this is the feat I wanted to focus on. Now, he's not doing anything to Namor, and he gets sent flying, but he still tanks this hit. So Namor is consistently swapping hands with characters like the Hulk and Thor. He is just on that tier of fighters, and these characters could obviously beat Juubidara. Like, at least Thor could. I don't know if Hulk could. Base Hulk, he's got good feats, but you know what we saw. We saw what happened with 8 Gates Guy, and he lived that, so I think Hulk might be around the same thing, except Hulk's doing it multiple times, so who knows. But anyway, he's able to beat, predictable. Human Torch.
That's definitely where the super wank is going in.
You think that's super wank? That he's able to beat Human Torch?
Well, obviously he could beat Human Torch. He's got fire resistance.
Yeah, he's got fire resistance, but that's just because he's like, that Carnage symbiote is usually weak to fire, but it's not anymore. That's all.
Okay, I know, I understand that, but the point you're trying to make is like, he's tanking like AP feats that would work on anybody that doesn't have a fire immunity.
I'm just showing his attack potency. It has nothing to do with his. It has nothing to do with his durability.
Well, he's tanking hits from these people. Is that what you're saying?
No, like I'm saying he's knocking.
From a Moonbuster like Torch.
I'm saying he's knocking out Moonbusters.
Yeah, the Human Torch doesn't have like the greatest like defensive capabilities. Human Torch is a glass cannon.
I'm not saying you're not wrong about that, but if he's knocking out people who are able to bust up moons, he's at least decently strong. I get what you're saying with that, but I'm not finished yet. So if you would like, could you please just crawl up out of my ass? No, I'm just kidding. Breaking Bad reference. So it's not just the Human Torch that he beats. He goes on to beat Anti-Agent Venom, which should be able to erase Carnage, because that's what the Venom symbiote does, or the Anti-Venom symbiote does. It actually kills Venom symbiote or any symbiotes. That's what its purpose is. And it doesn't erase Red Goblin's Carnage suit because of the Goblin Serum. And he's not just fighting Agent Anti-Venom at the same time. He's also fighting Silk, Miles Morales, the Human Torch, and that sound guy that I can't remember the name of, all at the same time. And he comes out on top without any scratches on him. So if you scale Miles to anywhere near the Peter Parker that we scaled in our Spider-Man vs. Shippuden video, which he should be around that level. He's fighting the same villains usually. I think Peter Parker is stronger. That might be a good video we could do later on. But to be honest with you, it seems to me that if you're scaling Spider-Man to at least Ninetales, if not a little bit higher, which we did scale him a little bit higher than the Ninetales. We scaled him a little bit lower than KCM2 Naruto. Now, so if we're scaling him there, I would probably say that Carnage is able to at least interact with people that are on this level. We even said that Spider-Man would probably be able to dodge the Life Feint, which makes sense. And the way that Red Goblin got taken out wasn't by strength, it wasn't by any feats at all. It was just Spider-Man convincing Norman Osborn that he was actually Cletus Cassidy, and he went crazy. But I don't see Madara pulling that off because he doesn't know who the fuck Cletus Cassidy is. So that
wasn't Spider-Man in the Venom suit when he beat Red Goblin?
Yes, and he was losing badly. He had to convince Norman Osborn that. Go ahead.
I thought what happened was like Spider-Man was able to like get him like on the back foot, and Goblin was like really super insecure about it.
He let go of the Carnage symbiote, and so did. And yes, that's how he won. But he was losing up until the point that he convinced him that he was Cletus Cassidy. You'd have to read the comic to understand what happened, but basically to get Norman to the point that he was losing and wanted to test his strength against him, he had to convince him he was Cletus Cassidy. So yes, he was able to do like a test of strength with Spider-Man. But do you really see Madara like? I don't think Green Goblin's going to pull that off. This is going to be the hardest fight he's ever fought. And he was working Spider-Man with the Venom symbiote, which is why he felt so confident in the first place. So it's not like he's going to take off the Carnage symbiote and be like, all right, yeah, let's fight it up, Madara. But anyway, if you don't mind, I'll finish what I was saying. Because it's almost 11 minutes in, so. Basically...
hurry the fuck up.
You're the one who keeps interrupting me, bro. So... basically, what I'm saying is he should be massively faster than Light with reaction speed because he's knocking out these characters who are consistently faster than Light, at least dodging Light speed attacks, and he's keeping up with them and putting the hurt on them, consistently outspeeding them and reacting to them, which makes sense because he also has the Spidey sense, but I'll get into that when you bring up your thing. So yeah, pretty much, I don't know where he would be attack potency-wise, but that's not really my win con anyway. I know that he's somewhere above Spider-Man, and Spider-Man should be, AP-wise, he's pretty strong. He's stunning Silver Surfer in some of the scans, so I don't know. I don't want to say anything because it sounds stupid to say that he has probably, like, can hurt people who can bust planets, but it makes sense considering he's hurting the Silver Surfer. I know you say he's a glass cannon, or not the Silver Surfer, sorry, the Human Torch. I know you say he's a glass cannon, but he's hurting Spider-Man and Spider-Man with the Venom symbiote, so I think it's pretty safe to say he's probably at least moon level when it comes to AP. Obviously, destructive capability, he isn't shit unless he uses a bunch of clones and then attacks a large city or something. But yeah, that's pretty much it for him. I think durability wise, he's probably somewhere around planetary, and then attack potency wise, he's probably moon level to large planet level, maybe AP, that is. So all right, go ahead, Kyle. I know that was a lot of bullshit that you disagree with, so why don't you go ahead and do Madara?
No, a lot of it wasn't too bad. I agree with the speed. The durability is kind of tough. He's tanking hits from like Spider-Man. He fought people like Hulk. Spider-Man wasn't able to hurt Hulk, but anyways, I'm not gonna get too much into who Madara is. Y'all should know that. If you don't, I'm sorry. Y'all need to watch Naruto. Like, I don't even know why you're watching this video if you don't know who Madara is, because you probably don't know who Red Goblin is. And in all fairness, I'm just gonna go straight into his stats. Speed Madara was like outspeeding EMS Sasuke, KCM2 Naruto. This was before he was even the Ten Tails Jinchuriki. He was casually just dodging Sasuke while blind, which is pretty crazy if you think about it. I think he did have Sage Mode at that point. He might not have either. Either way, that's still pretty crazy. Keeping up with KCM2 Naruto is pretty crazy too. He's probably reaching like relativistic simply because he's keeping up with Minato, who also has a Nine Tails at this point, which is also fucking crazy. And this is all before he became the Jinchuriki. It's kind of hard to gauge how much more powerful the Jinchuriki of the Ten Tails is. But Obito went from getting like blitzed by Minato, he was like turned into an actual bitch by Madara because of that curse seal, which I won't hold against him too much. But yeah, he went from being blitzed by Minato to, while in his uncontrolled, unperfected Jinchuriki state, he blitzed him like without Minato even being able to react, which is fucking insanity because his reaction speed is probably somewhat comparable to his combat speed, which is at bare minimum FTL, if not massively FTL. Then he goes on to fight 6-pass Sage Mode Naruto and Sasuke with the Rinnegan, which, in all fairness, he was getting dogged on at first when he only had the one Rinnegan. After he got the second one, that changed quite a bit. He really turned that fight around in the second half. Naruto and Sasuke were struggling to stay up at that point. They really couldn't do a whole lot to him, especially with like the Limbo clones. And those guys were actually able to see and sense them. I know you were just fucking waiting for that one. You're like, no, spider sense. Yes.
I could address that now if you want, or I could wait till you're done. I don't think it's a fair argument, but I'm gonna make it anyway.
Go ahead and do that after I read the scan from the data book.
Yeah, go ahead and read that scan from the data book, no problem.
The person who owns a Rinnegan is able to intervene into an adjacent world, an extremely distant world. In this dimension, a shadow is produced, which cannot be detected by anyone connected to the normal world. The user gains a duplicate of himself that, besides having the same skills, he's invisible. There's going to be fighting five of these things, who on their own were able to one-shot all of the tailed beasts and throw hands with 6-pass Naruto and Sasuke. In a fight against the user, a counterattack is impossible, resulting in the defeat of the opponent, even at a high level. Obviously, that's cap. I'm not going to super wank these things. Naruto was able to stop these things with rods. Sasuke could see them with the Rinnegan. But those are like inverse counter abilities. Go ahead and say what you have to say about it. We'll just get it out of the way.
Yeah, so basically, it's pretty simple. It's a kind of a stupid thing, but when it goes over Spider-Man's Spidey senses, it says detect danger. Well, it says this is Spidey senses can detect danger, invisible, undetectable. His uncanny spider senses alert him to anything out of the ordinary. So, I mean, to me, that seems like it would at least alert him to these things. And it kind of makes sense, because if you know what the spider sense really is, it's this thing that's connected to the web of life, controlled by Madam Web, and that's what kind of alerts him to these things. So it can see across dimensions, or at least she can. So, I mean, I don't know why she would want to help Cletus Cassidy in this fight, but obviously she wants to help him, Norman Osborn. But obviously she does help him because Carnage does have Spidey sense. And it says so in this one scan that I'm pulling up here. It says that, all of the abilities of Spider-Man Carnage has. So it's just an interesting feat, if you ask me.
All right, well, while we're on this topic, let's go ahead and get out. What are we going to agree the interaction would be like? Is he gonna be like 6-pass Naruto, where he can like... Naruto had like... It wasn't exactly like Spider Sense. He could kind of like feel where they were, but he also has like the hatred thing from the Nine Tails. as well as like 6-pass Senjutsu, so he could like feel life force or whatever the fuck.
Well,
So you want to say that like he's Red Goblin would be able to like dodge attacks, or is he going to know where these things are?
I would think that he would only like have a sense of where an attack is coming. But I have a kind of a way to make Madara feel overwhelmed too. But we'll get into that when I get to my win con. Let's for now. Why don't
Yeah,
we
I just wanted to get over where we were at with the Limbo clones.
Yeah, I think if you ask me,
obviously,
just if he can't interact with the Limbo clones, Red Goblin loses very badly here, and it's not even funny. But if
I don't actually know if like I know Naruto and Sasuke could like see and sense them and stuff. I don't know if like any attacks would actually like work out. Like if Kakashi like just like for instance was just like shadow boxing and one of them just walked up in front of him, like if he'd actually even be able to hit it.
Right, I doubt it, and I think that's kind of implied by their like, what is happening? Why am I getting hit? Like when the tailed beast all got hit.
Yeah.
So, what I'm basically getting, I think he would just dodge, and that's probably about it.
So there's some major inconvenience.
Yes, essentially. But I think I have a way of getting him to be able to. We'll see. You'll see what happens. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Let me finish up his stats, and then we'll get into the meat of it. So speed-wise, yeah, massively FTL. Like he was fighting my guy. My guy was crazy. Like 7th gate, one-shotting Kisame. 8th gate was like he was claimed by Madara to be like the best, fastest taijutsu user like ever that he encountered at the very least. This puts him well above Hashirama. He was like bending space when he did the night guy. I'm not going to super link that. Lots of people love to for some fucking reason. I don't think it has any like speed or AP anything to mention about that, but it did happen nevertheless. Durability wise, again, he tanked the night guy hit. He didn't fully tank it, but like 6-pass Jinchuriki is like basically immortal. I don't know if it's like effective immortality, like if he was able to crush his heart or take his head off or something like that, that might kill him. I'm honestly not even 100% sure.
Well, he did get cut in half by. He got cut in half by Sasuke and lived.
Yeah, I'm talking about like heart shots, like completely destroying his heart or taking off his head. Like we don't really know how that would affect him, if at all. Like he'd just fucking regen it or whatnot. His head would just be fucking flying around. Like Isame's or Zetsu's was when he got beheaded. Like who knows?
Right.
Let's see what else I got here. AP wise, he's fucking cracked. Like even in his reanimated state, the Heavenly Devastation that he used, he's able to like summon meteors. And these things were strong enough to wipe out 5 Kage, Naruto, or a clone of him, which was like equal strength, and like 15 to 20,000 ninja. They just all had them shitting in their pants, like praying to their gods, like sending prayers to their family. Like this thing was fucking devastating. I still find it hilarious to this day how the Kage were feeling themselves when they stopped the first one. Madara was like, well, what are you gonna do about the fucking second one, retards? Yeah, that shit was cold. It's still one of my favorite scenes in anime to this day.
Deadass, they were shitting themselves. Even Gaara was like, is this the power of a god?
Yeah, and if y'all think that's bad, Juubidara can summon like 30 of these fucking things. I don't know how would you scale these things? Like if he were to summon these,
is that the scan?
They're probably not planetary, right? Like those aren't gonna blow. Like obviously the second one crashed into the place and it left a massive fucking crater. But if you were to like just send 30 of them like one after another, like
so I was looking at that.
Country-wise, multi-country.
I was thinking, yeah, maybe multi-continental to maybe moon level. Because if you look at the scan, if you can see the curvature of the Earth pretty well, And you can, I think it's implying that this should be a moon level feat by having the moon in the background. Because if
Now
you were to
that you
drop,
mention,
what's that?
I've never thought about it till now, but is his Hengai Shinsei like just him using planetary devastation to
Yeah.
like make these things and just is that what it is?
Well, it seems like every Renegon user has a different way of using Shibaku Tensei, and that way is his way seems to be summoning asteroids from space, which is why two of them just kind of showed up out of nowhere. You didn't see any rocks collecting, and Nagato's he has to create the orb out of his hand, and it's got to move to wherever it's going, and then Sasuke it just lands on the epicenter of his wherever his focal point is.
Right.
It,
I think it's crazy how like when he did it in the war after he got his second Renegon and he did like the 30 of them. Like I think they showed us in the anime or the manga that it was actually like planetary devastation, but they didn't explain that at all when he fought Gaara's platoon. They kind of just like showed up.
right, that is weird.
But yeah, he could summon like 30 of these things. If you want to scale that to like multi-continental, I'm okay with that.
It's obvious this is just like a one of the things that he can do, and he scales way higher to multi-continental, but
Yeah, I mean for just like destructive capacity, not like AP.
right.
Yeah, what was I doing? Durability. Yeah, he's like almost immortal. Not effectively immortal, but almost. I get healed for most things, and I guess AP would be next. He's got like the perfect Susano. His was we were actually shown that he could like cut mountains with these things.
Mountain
Uh,
ranges.
yeah, and like he didn't even hit the mountain. He like chopped the air or attacked somebody or something, and the fucking shockwave like circumcised the mountains in the fucking distance.
Yeah, it was
And
one of the most disgusting feats in Naruto, if you ask me, just out of display wise.
yeah, and just for like perspective, Madara's perfect Susanoo is twice the size of Sasuke's. It's fucking massive. It's stated to like destroy all things in the universe, which is clearly cap. Clearly cap.
Well,
However, it's interesting nonetheless.
I mean, if you take it like it can destroy anything in the universe, as in like given enough time, he might be able to do it. I could see that.
Well, that's like saying Ninetales is universal because it could blow up one planet at a time.
Yeah, I think it's more like if you were to attack a star for a long period of time, it'd probably blow up.
Like the Majin Buu thing, like he's a threat to the solar system, yeah, but it'd take him like 3,000 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty much. I think that's kind of what that statement's kind of getting at.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
and like I said earlier, it's really hard to like say or quantify how much more powerful a Ten Tails Jinchuriki is. But a lot of the things I said were him in like reanimated type state. So these things would be like super amped. He'd have like Sage Jutsu and embedded into some of them. He could summon the Sword of Nunoboko like Obito did. Why he didn't do it, I don't know, because Madara's will is like unbreakable. His Sword of Nunoboko probably would like never break until he gets fucking backshotted by Black Zetsu, and he's like, "Oh, Hashirama."
He's just thinking
Where
back
did I
about
go wrong?
he's missing Hashirama's wood instead. I wish when
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Fucking he could still use what Jakai what deep forest emergence and full forest bloom.
yeah.
He could just like summon fucking forest, like choke people out.
And then
He's
you
not
can
as
catch it on
versatile as
fire.
the. Yeah, dude, that was menacing. That turned that whole battleground into a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, that was probably I don't know. That was terrifying when Madara did that.
Dude, Madara showing up at Gaara's platoon, like top 5 best anime arcs of all time.
I
Like,
totally
that shit was
agree.
just so perfect.
He was built up since the beginning of Naruto, like the last fight, and you see him as a statue, he's depicted as one of these founding fathers of the Leaf. There's no way you're ever gonna meet this character, and then all of a sudden he's just on the battlefield, and it's the
right?
craziest thing you've ever seen to date on the show. It was just the
Yeah,
coolest
I'm
reveal
sorry
ever.
for those who are. I'm sorry to those of you who are watching. I'm 100% biased in this fight. Madara is one of like my favorite anime characters of all time. Like he's will forever be in top five, and there's nobody that could like top him for me. So like, if he loses in this fight, I'm gonna be very fucking upset. Just so y'all know, I'm gonna take it out on Dom after the video's done. But
Yeah, I'm his whipping boy, so just get ready. I'll post the scars after.
yeah, I know Dom's got some bullshit coming in. I'm gonna be real offended by it. But yeah, I'm done. I'm done scaling them, so we can talk about the fights now.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so honestly, it just kind of goes down to my win con. This win con is so stupid, but so we know Carnage has the ability to take over pretty strong life forms like the Silver Surfer. And I get that this is kind of wild, but it's shown that he isn't able to break out of the Carnage symbiote until Cletus Cassidy is there, and Carnage just wants to bond back to Cletus Cassidy. And he needed Peter Parker's help to do this. And he could not control Carnage. Carnage completely took control of the Silver Surfer. So I don't know if you want to say that Carnage has more, or if you want to say that Madara has more psychological control than the Silver fucking Surfer. I don't know, but to me that would be pretty wild of a statement, especially when he couldn't keep his psyche together when Kaguya was overtaking him. I know that was kind of a little bit of a different thing, but it's kind of funny how we're using an alien symbiote that can spread over its host like goo, and the person that kills Madara, well, effectively kills Madara. He doesn't actually get the kill, but Madara dies from the tentails being ripped out of him. But the person who actually stabs Madara through the chest is a goo-like alien that ends up taking over his body. So this goes to my Limbo clone thing. So one thing that I was gonna say is he could take over some Shinobi Alliance homies that are chilling and use them as stand-ins to kind of overwhelm Madara if he gets like Carnage has taken over all of America before. So it's not out of his realm of possibility to take over a decent amount of this Shinobi Alliance. They're going to be scaling equal to him. So hopefully they're going to be able to dodge these Limbo clones. And if they're all pushing the Madara that they can interact with the goal of infecting his mind, which again isn't really out of the possibility with Carnage because he purposely went out of his way to teleport to the Ultimate Universe and take over Null, the King in Black. Now this is Carnage that had his own obsidian sword. I forget what it's called, but it's like the black sword. He had his own sword forged like that. So I'm not
Null
scaling.
sword.
Yeah, pretty much. So he pulled up in the Ultimate Universe and killed that Null and took all of his abilities. So it's not out of the realm of possibility for Carnage to be like, ooh, I want to take over Madara's body, pull an Orochimaru. So it's definitely something that he would want to do. I just don't know if he would be able to do it. So that's my win con in this situation, is that he just pushes and takes over Madara's body, just like he did in Carnage. I think it's called like Carnage America, and obviously during the events of Maximum Carnage. So what do you think about that, Kyle? Yeah, you could say what you gotta say.
So this is incredibly subjective. So I basically have to prove to you that this can't happen. Is that what's happening right now?
I don't think you're gonna have to prove that hard. It's pretty much a stretch to say that Carnage is gonna be able to pull this off, because he's gonna have to dodge the Limbo clones, take over the Shinobi Alliance while he's doing that. He's got to come up with this plan all at the same time, which Norman Osborn isn't stupid. He was able to figure out that he was underwater in prison. He was like in an underwater prison without any knowledge of being able to see the outside at all. So I think that's a pretty cool feat of his when it comes to intelligence. So I think he might be able to deduce that there's a being from another dimension that's attacking him, and he needs to be able to overwhelm Madara to do it. I just don't know. He doesn't really have enough speed feats to show that he can do it. So if you could show me that Madara just overwhelms him, I'll succeed this fight for sure.
Okay, I have questions first.
Okay.
Is this a shard of Carnage like he did to his hostages, or is it like all of Carnage has to bond with Madara?
Well, see, the thing is Carnage was able to take over characters like Captain America with just a shard of him. It's just like a shard of him pretty much is him. I don't think it scales down when he separates, because symbiotes, like, they're weird. They can kind of create stuff out of nothing.
So is it kind of like asexual reproduction? Like he takes over somebody and there's just two of them?
Yeah, kind of, yep.
Okay. So he wouldn't have to like debond from Norman to do this?
No, but he might. That is one thing, because that's what he did with the Silver Surfer. He just wanted to join with the Silver Surfer, so it's possible that Carnage says, fuck you, Norman, and just joins with Madara, and then Madara just has the Carnage symbiote. I mean, that is definitely a possibility here.
And if this were to happen, are you considering that a win? If Juubidara also gets the Carnage symbiote, you're considering that a win?
I would consider that almost a battlefield removal if Norman Osborn stays Carnage and he takes over Juubidara, then obviously Juubidara's psyche is out the window, and then it's kind of a battlefield removal in that sense.
Okay, I'm done with my questions, so I'll get into why I don't think this would happen, and we'll just discuss them as we go. First of all, the clones, like Red Goblin being in a position for this to happen. Obviously, the Limbo clones, we talked about that. We don't have anything to show that Juubidara also can't make wood clones or shadow clones or anything like that on top of the Limbo clones, who, mind you, can all use perfect Susanoo.
But we do know that Juubidara is willing to power himself down in order for his opponent to get the advantage.
Where are you getting that from?
He just stood there when Might Guy charged up the Night Guy.
I don't know if I'd consider that a powering down as much as Madara like entertaining what Might Guy can do.
I'm just saying it is in character for him to let his opponents like power up, kind of.
Yeah, that's hard to say, because I agree with you. Although I think letting somebody power up and letting his body be invaded are two different things.
Right. I don't think he's going to let that happen. I just think that he might let Carnage get the other people in the Shinobi Alliance under his control. Obviously, we're assuming that Naruto and Sasuke are not there. He's not going to be able to take over their bodies. I just mean like random jobber Shinobis.
Okay, but you agree with this fact that Red Goblin overwhelming Juubidara probably isn't going to happen if he has the Limbo clones as well as like Shadow clones.
If he were to use,
as like Heavenly Devastation, Light Fang, Storm Release.
I don't see him doing that at all. The only way I could see Red Goblin getting close to Madara is if Madara just gets too cocky and lets him get close, and at that point, Carnage can shoot pieces of his symbiote and stuff like that. I see Madara dodging all of that, though. I don't think Madara would purposely let himself get hit by that unless he was like, oh, I love the feel of battle. I want to feel blood again or something stupid.
Yeah, and even if he couldn't dodge, like, remember he had like the perfect truth-seeking spear that Might Guy was able to blow through?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if Carnage would be able to do that. What did we calc his AP to? Moon level?
Yeah, I said moon level to, you know, small planetary. That's what I would probably get his AP at highballing him.
What do you think 8 Gates guy is? Probably
He's
somewhere
definitely,
around there.
yeah, he's definitely around there. I don't see Carnage punching a hole through Madara the same way that Night Guy did, though. I'll be real. I
Well,
think
it wasn't Night Guy that did it. It was actually his Sekizo,
that's true. That's true.
which is still crazy. Like we're not downplaying Sekizo or anything, but
Right.
just trying to get a feel of like where you feel things stand in that situation.
Yeah, I don't. The only win con Carnage has is just like touching him and infecting him. Pause. But
Okay, so I wanna go over that next since that's the last thing I have to defend, I guess. So when Obito took in the Ten Tails Jinchuriki, he like wasn't even there.
right.
Minato was trying to talk to Jubito, and he was like, "Obito," like he had no idea who he was, what was going on. We actually saw in both manga and anime that like Ten Tails was like progressively like ripping apart his psyche,
Yep.
and Obito was able to overcome this. I'm going to read a scan from the data book over Ten Tails, a fragment of the God tree that gave birth to the universe. That's Cap. The nine-tailed beasts received life in the world because the figure is separated personification of chakra. The Ten Tails, even as individuals, they boast overwhelming power. The Ten Tails' power is beyond imagination. Fourth Great War was restored. Overwhelming power caused despair. Ten Tails has no concept of emotions. Okay, so Obito was able to overcome this, and he struggled with it. When Madara took in the Ten Tails, this did not happen.
Yeah, he didn't
He
struggle with it
absorbed
at
the Ten Tails, and he was like, "Oh wow, this is mid as fuck." And he did the same thing with Senjutsu. To be fair, he like fucking choked out Hashirama, got a little bit of a chubby at the same time. He's like,
Right.
"Oh, this is Senjutsu. This ain't shit." Like he has incredible willpower and like mind, a fortification of his mind. He's not really bothered by a lot of things. Incredible mental fortitude. But at the same time, I don't have anything to say that this couldn't happen. Madara
So your idea is
doesn't.
basically
He
Madara
doesn't.
would
He doesn't
overwill
fail
it?
to. Yeah, I don't. I don't like where this is going. I'm already upset.
Yeah, I was just gonna
I
say,
don't.
like, do
I
you
think
think
Silver Surfer
Madara,
is
yeah,
probably.
has
I
more
know where
will?
you're going with this. Shut the fuck up. I'm already upset.
Look,
I don't think. Madara has more like mental fortitude than Silver Surfer.
no, I don't think so either. But
But I do think he has a lot of
he has a lot of mental
versatility
resistance.
in the way. I think he has a lot of versatility in the way of not letting that happen to begin with.
Definitely. I'm gonna be real with you, and this is probably gonna be the end of the debate right here. After going over everything, I just don't see Red Goblin getting in close enough. Even if you were to be able to take over all of the Shinobi allied forces, all of them, and all of them were Red Goblin strength level, right? I just see the Light Fang, the destructive capability of the catastrophic heavenly devastation is just, it's too much for all those Red Goblins to handle at once. I think Madara, with the Limbo clones, with the Shadow clones, with the Wood clones, and with all, and all of that, it's just, I don't see him getting the chance to infect the Shinobi allied forces to begin with. But let's just say one out of 10 times, somehow Red Goblin gets that. Madara does that thing where he lets him hit him with the symbiote. He starts shooting him with the symbiote bullets. And like how he did with Gaara, he just stands there and lets it hit him. And then he didn't realize that Carnage would be able to take over his body after that, and then boom. But then I could see Carnage saying, "Fuck you, Norman," leaving him and being like, Madara, let me join you. And then I could see Black Zetsu try to stab him in the back, and then the Spidey senses tingle. He just turns around, just fucking punches Black Zetsu's head off. That's exactly what would happen.
Yeah, that would have never happened if Naruto and Sasuke weren't there.
Yeah, for sure. He was distracting him, and he trusted Black Zetsu. It was like the whole, like... It was symbolic how Madara died, because he only trusted himself, and he thought Black Zetsu was himself, and he let him took his back. Just like Hashirama took his back, you know? Pause.
Yeah, I want to say something about that, just because I see a lot of people downplaying Juubidara for this. Zetsu on his own is at least a Kage level like combatant. He by himself fought off the special guard that the Mizukage had. I think somebody else was there. I know it was Mizukage, Chojuro, and like a bunch of the Leaf Jonin, the ones that could use Minato's Flying Raijin. So
Right.
he fought all of these guys off by himself. Like, he's definitely not like a powerhouse, but he's not as weak as everybody thinks he is. And I just hate that my boy Madara got taken out like that.
He didn't even die from it, though. That's what people totally misunderstand. It's just that...
Dude, he didn't even die when fucking they beat Kaguya. He was still there chilling on the ground.
I know, he had a full-on, like, let's chill in the afterlife Hashirama talk before he passed away peacefully. Madara got the win in the end, if you ask me. He got to die peacefully looking at his best friend. And he resolved all the shit that he had issues with. And it wasn't even because of Naruto either. It was just... He realized that his way of life was gone and dead, you know? So yeah, I knew going in here Red Goblin loses. And I'm leaving here knowing Red Goblin loses. But hopefully you guys see where I was going with it, that there is a world out there that maybe Red Goblin could infect him. That was the only idea I had here, and hopefully you guys had fun watching it.
Nah, 0 out of 10.
No, it's not 0 out of 10. It's definitely 1 out of 10.
Nah, definitely 0 out of 10.
No, it's not, because Madara is just...
That would never happen. You're just...
You're wrong, because you're mad that Madara would stand there and tank a hit just to prove that he's strong.
Nah, I think you're mad because you want Goblin to win so bad.
I like Naruto, or I like Madara more than I like Red Goblin. I love Carnage more than... I love Carnage a lot. I don't know if I like him more than Madara. But Carnage is one of my favorite villains of all time, and I just didn't see regular Carnage doing anything, and any other Carnage that's stronger than Red Goblin would probably just get the W too easily. Like Cosmic Carnage, the guy I was talking about when he takes over Silver Surfer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much it, though. Anything else you want to talk about, Kyle? I think we got a pretty much a 50-minute video here, so.
I'll hear about Trump sucking Clinton dick.
Yeah, that was... I'm upset about that. I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah, this still bothers me.
I don't even know if it's true. I mean, there's no evidence of it. It's just an email, so.
Yeah, they're just gaslighting.
Yeah, I could be breathing a bunch of copium. Because, like, I'm not dealing with another gay president. All of our presidents have been fucking gay for the past 20 years.
Yeah.
I thought Trump was the first heterosexual president of my lifetime, but of course not. Well, if that homophobia didn't make you guys click off, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We're probably going to sign off here, so see you guys. You gonna say bye, Kyle, or are you just gonna say fuck you to your friends? Why don't you ever say bye to these guys? You just say no to me? Just silent now?
I'm eating.